So right now, I did my first testing with trying to do online work. And even though I failed the tests, there's a company, I'm not going to give the name of it. If I make some money from the company, I will give the name of the company. But right now, I'm not going to talk about the company because I don't want, people emailing me or putting stuff in the comment section saying, hey, Mr. Cruz, I make money from this company all the time, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what your financial bracket is on my channel, but one thing I've learned about the idea of doing online stuff, it's just like Uber. Now, you look at this and you say, well, why wouldn't there be money involved in online stuff? Because I say the same thing about Uber and Lyft when I do Uber and Lyft. There's always room for more drivers on Uber and Lyft, and I never understood that. And so, I realized one thing was that you go out there and you do Uber Lyft and you get somebody in your car that doesn't have a good personality. They tend to talk to you like you're a slave while you're driving, and they act like they're going to tell you how to drive, and they're going to rush you and fuss at you because the app is taking you the long way around, or you're going a different way than they're used to go. And you get people that know how to drive in your car. You get people that don't know nothing about driving, don't know where they're going. They're expecting you to know exactly where they're going. They don't even know what this place looks like. They've never been there before. I've taken foreigners to places. They can barely speak English. I says, is this the place? Because I'm getting, I'm not sure, the address here. And they're like, they go looking around. They can't speak English, and so they accept where I dropped them off at. And I've had people that that are not from this country, they're from another country. They don't trust Uber drivers to take them exactly to where they're going. There's these two Arab dudes, Arab or Indian one, that I took from Pittsburgh all the way out past North Versailles, like way out there on route, 19? Way out there, going towards like North Versailles, past North Versailles, way out there. And there's a beautiful, it's like an hour trip. It's like, from here, it's like 45 minutes to an hour trip. And the money's good, but they what they don't want to tell you, because when you look at the address, you can tell that that's a business, and you're looking at these guys, and you're looking at what kind of business this is, and you're saying these guys must own that business, or they must, work for whoever owns that business, which probably somebody of the same race as them or something, whatever. But, okay, I'm taking you out there. And I take them out there, and they did this twice, same dudes, want me to take them at McDonald's across the parking lot because they don't want me to drop them off. Well, the address is not McDonald's, or it would say McDonald's. As an American, I know if I don't know the exact, business I'm trying to find, I know at least somewhat what the place is supposed to look like by the address and the location and all like that. But what they would do is we would get there and they would say McDonald's, and I would say, well, I'm not, the address is not McDonald's, sir, but yeah, take us there. And so they did that to protect themselves, because they don't want nobody, like an Uber driver for some reason, knowing exactly what their business is. But they don't understand. I have the address to the business in the phone. Now, or they could have gotten even the McDonald's address wrong, and they're going to go to the parking lot and they're going to leave the parking lot and go into the other parking lot or go across the street or something like that, and the actual business is over there. But whatever the case is, these guys didn't want the Uber Lyft drivers to know exactly, where their business was, okay? So, you run through stuff like this when you do Uber and Lyft, and sometimes it's frustrating. It is. Sometimes it is frustrating when you are taking people out there, you're driving them to where they got to go, and, they can't speak English, or they have a bad attitude. They get in your car mad at something. You ask them a question, they look at you like, why are you talking to me? And then they fuss at you about how long you're taking to get there. They fuss at you for how long you took to pick them up and all like that. And one dude cussed me out, and he was black. It don't matter. You call me the N-word, I'm not picking you up. And he's arguing with me, and I'm trying to find out where he's at, and he's arguing with me. And so, to me, something like that is more frustrating, my point, than working online. Because online, you're not trying. Now, it can be just as frustrating if you're online and you're trying to find out, you're trying to click and paste, or you're trying to, make a password and they won't accept your password. They're making your password real difficult. You go through this kind of stuff. Or you're trying to put this item on this site, or you're trying to download something, and then, you got the internet part of it correct, but then you have the your own computer won't let you download this to this, or Google, what is it? The Google app, where you can put your files in there, Google Files or whatever, is making your process so slow. It's acting like it, and things happen where something's full and you don't even have anything in there. How's it full? I didn't put all this stuff in there. How's it full? And there's so many things that can happen online. Just like there's so many things that can happen as you're out there driving using a driving app to pick people up and take people where they got to go. And it's bam, 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 bam. So when I first started working for Uber and Lyft, the reason why I got with Uber and Lyft is because I like to drive. And I figured, being I like to drive, why not make money for it? And then I started driving, and I realized how much I hate Pittsburgh. The bridges, the expressways, the outrageous go past the speed limit. That Fort Pitt Bridge is like, my middle finger goes up every time I get on that Fort Pitt Bridge. I hate it. Because when you get on the Fort Pitt Bridge, the signs are in the ceiling. They're up here under the bridge. You're on a ramp and the bridge is going over the ramp. Okay? And the signs are up here. You got to look up. You're like this. You got to look up like this. See the signs. And the Uber and Lyft app always bring you in on the left side when you are going clear far to the right, and they bring you on the right side when you have to get over far clear to the left, and you're talking 5 lanes. 5 lanes. And then, these 2 lanes over here go through a tunnel, and these 2 lanes here go to 2 routes and every little smaller route between them. So I had to learn that. Like, what is the route number for the tunnel? I didn't forget already. And then I know if I'm going 376 or if I'm going to 28 or any of the expressways that are going this way or outside of Pittsburgh that way, I know to get to the far right side. But in order to go further into Pittsburgh, like you're going to Wilkinsburg or something like that, you're going to get in the left lane and go through the tunnel coming from downtown. And I learned that, okay, by making the mistake of going through the tunnels when I should have went far right, or going far right when I should have went through the tunnels. And there's somebody in the back seat, they know where they're going. They're sitting there playing on their phone, and they look up and like, oh wait, you were supposed to go through the tunnels. And I'm like, I was wondering why it's taking me along. You didn't know you're supposed to go through the tunnels? I says, it ain't showing me that. It didn't even show the expressway. It just says go right. It literally says here, keep right. Well, the tunnels, man, was left. Okay? But, you know, that's something that we all as Uber drivers, if you ever seen two Uber or Lyft drivers get together and talk, I mean, you talk about a conversation. When I get in an Uber or Lyft vehicle and I talk about problems that I've had with making money with Uber and Lyft, problems I've had with a partial suspension, problems that I've had with, you know, riders and stuff like that, and getting around the app and all that kind of stuff. We could talk all day, because it is a world where you basically have your own business up under somebody else's business. You work for yourself under somebody else's business. And that is true to the world. There's three ways to get around the world. And that is, you either work as a slave for an employer. And if you work for an actual employer who is your employer, you have this like slave-like respect and honor and you know, conformity, okay, to that employer. It's like every day you go to work, it's like, you know, yes sir, private so and so and so, you know, reporting for duty, ma'am. You know, and that's how you are. You come to work and, you know, your uniform got to be right. You come to work and, oh, you got to make sure you say hello to everybody and all like that. Even people that don't like you, you got to make sure you say hello to everybody, or they can get you for that. They always taking points off you for something. You go to work and they always looking for, you know, you to do something wrong. And okay, he did it worse than I did. Why am I getting yelled at for me not doing it as bad as he did it? He did worse. You know, and sometimes people get in there and they look at you like, well, you just a little guy. He's big and tall and husky. So I'm going to treat you one way, and I'm going to treat him, I'm going to tell him in a more respectful way. And the boss that I recently had at a job that I had, everything that he later showed respect for was because he just spent the week or month earlier prior to that in the HR office. I had a boss where everybody was taking him to HR. Everybody in the group, you know, 9 officers, everybody's taking him to HR. Not because they just felt that, oh, we're going to take the boss to HR to show him that we, you know, can drag him around by his collar. No, they took him to HR because he wanted it that way. He was like, oh, well, if you don't like the way I do my job, you can talk to my boss. He's like, oh, okay, well, that's exactly what I'm going to do then. And they did that. And the only reason why he showed any respect at any time for some of us is because he already was warned and cautioned by HR. And so even though he was the big man, he was a slave, you know, he was a house slave. You know what I mean? He was a house slave, and the 9 officers under him were the field slaves. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you're going to run into that in the job market, okay? And some people are okay with working under an employer, and they do their job in a way to where they don't even have to deal with their employer unless there's a problem. Okay? And they handle their employees, their co-workers, in a way where they don't have to deal with their employer unless there's a problem. And it works out for them. They go to work, do the job, keep their mouth shut, watch what they say around people, no gossiping, no talking, no getting angry. Somebody do you wrong, you act like I didn't notice anything. I didn't notice that he just, stole my lunch. I didn't see him steal my lunch. Okay, he stole my lunch. Well, I'm not going to eat lunch today. Okay, big deal. Or you heard some gossip. Somebody hated on it. I just made this mistake not too long ago. Somebody came to work mad and I made it my problem. It's not my problem. The dude want to come to work and act like a fool. But the reason why I got upset with him was because I'm trying to help him and I'm in a situation where I have to communicate with him. And he lost it on me, acting like I'm trying to tell him how to do his job. No, I'm telling him how to watch my back. Okay, because this is what's going on outside. You're looking at the cameras. I hope you see what's going on out there. Okay. And he just snapped on me. And so I had this now. His grudge against me turned into my grudge against him. And even when he tried to come to work and act like he don't care about it, this woman that he's hanging out with is holding a grudge against me. And he hanging out with her and she telling him, you know what I'm saying? She's telling him how to go about the job. And no, you go about the job by doing the job. You don't go about the job by saying, oh, let's go in here and, waste his time, or let's ignore him on the radio, or any of that stuff. Don't listen to him, don't talk to him. She was just, and this is the kind of stuff you go through on the job. Okay? And everybody is subject to it. Okay? And, and then I got people from another shift coming to me saying, I heard you said, and she said, and I said, stop, hold up. Me and this woman don't talk. She been holding a grudge against me for the last 3 months. Me and her don't say nothing. I don't say nothing. If I ask her a question, she'll go off. I said, look, I don't talk to her. So if she's saying I said something, she's hearing that from somebody that's on the outside looking in, that's lying, because she didn't hear it from me, because I wouldn't tell her that. Me and her don't talk. So I know she lying. You go through this kind of stuff on the job, and then, you got your employer, like I said, treating one person one way and another person another way. The newest person on the team doesn't leave the office and actually do any manual labor. He trying to give him, step up, trying to get him a raise and a higher place, trying to make him a supervisor or something. Okay? Whereas, the rest of y'all, it's like, no, you got to do it this way, and you got to do it that way, and you got to do it this way, and you got to do it that way. No handouts for you. Favoritism. You're going to go through favoritism and stuff. And a lot of times the people that are treated as favorites are the bad guys. Sometimes people like you because you got a people personality, but you're a total a-hole when it comes to the job. While you're out there somewhere where you don't belong trying to be a people person, your work is in your own department is being undone. But yet, I'm the bad guy. Okay? What did you do when you was out on the floor? Absolutely nothing. You just was out there gossiping and talking about your life that ain't got nothing to do with the job. And that's the thing. You're always in this predicament where you really have to focus on the job and you can't be who you want to be. When I was doing Uber and Lyft, a lot of times, depending on what the customer in the back seat was going through in his or her life and all like that, we could talk about things that ain't got nothing to do with Uber and Lyft. Okay? We could talk about things that, ain't got nothing to do with Uber and Lyft. And that's what we did. You know, and all the time, because what are you going to talk about Uber and Lyft for? All you're going to talk about is I'm getting dropped off at such and such a stop. You can pull around back because that's where I got to go in at or whatever. And that's it. Okay, but you don't have to, you know, other than that, any conversation that you want to have is socializing and talking about, you know, small talk or big talk about bigger things. If I meet somebody that's a Christian, we're going to talk about big talk. If I run into somebody, the person in the back seat, he's a Republican, we're going to talk bigger talk. You know, one time though, you got to be careful of that, because one time a dude decided to talk to me about abortion, and I don't practice abortion. You know, I don't believe in abortion, but he decided to bring it up. And I'm like, where are you going with this? And he's like, well, I think a woman. I'm thinking, why is he telling me this? I didn't say a woman don't have rights. Why is he bringing up abortion to me when I don't, you know? I didn't say nothing that made him bring that up. But he brought it up to me. And then when I'm listening to him, and I'm like, so you don't think that, I tried to ignore him, but then I had to ask him the typical question. So you don't think that abortion is killing babies? Well, we can say that, but, you know, okay. And he kept on. He went preaching me, and I said, dude, there's no excuse for abortion. If you're not ready to get pregnant, don't have sex with somebody that you know wouldn't be a good father for your kid. You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? If your birth control didn't work, that's not a reason to kill a baby. You know, he got so mad, he flipped out. He was about to, I'm surprised. He passed my stop. He got so mad, he passed my stop. Had to go back around the block and drop me off. And I said, have a nice day. I'll be praying for you. Shut my door. Ah! He was just mad, you know. That happened. And then a girl tried to offer to call the police on me because the app was taking me around in circles. And we were going back and forth through downtown. And she made it worse by getting, like, you know, aggravated and started yelling in the back seat. And, you know. And that was inside of an Uber. The first one I just mentioned, that was when I was riding with a guy that wanted to bring that conversation up. And this one was a woman that I was taking to work one day in the early afternoon, and she threatened to call the police and call me, you know, a kidnapper, say that I was trying to kidnap her. I had that done to me twice. One was a dude. Okay, where am I supposed to kidnap you and take you to? I barely know you, dude. I know you as this dude on your face on my phone. Like, I don't know you. Why would I kidnap you? You know, what do you got that I need from you that I would kidnap you? You know, he accused me of kidnapping. I thought you were trying to kidnap me there for a minute. I'm like, what? Then there was a girl that, you know, said, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to get me there. I'm going to call my friend and tell them to call the police. Matter of fact, she did call a friend and told her to call the police and say, if I'm not at work in 5 minutes, call the police. Well, I got her there in 8. Because I wasn't going to drive like a fool to get her to work. Neither was I going to end up pulling over. And I said, you want me to pull over and let you tell me how to get there? Do you know where you work? I can pull over. She said, no, keep on going because I'm already late. And I'm going to be late. And okay, well, look. We could pull over somewhere and you could tell me how you get yourself to work. I don't drive. Okay, well, okay. Okay, well, then let the app get you there, and if it don't get you there, then I'll put it through. I'll use a different app. I'll use Google Maps or something to get you there. You know, she was just being a real okay. When I told people at work, you know, how I do Uber and Lyft, and how they were like, well, this is why I don't do Uber and Lyft, and I'm like, I love doing Uber and Lyft. Okay. And I said, I'd rather do that than Port Authority. In Port Authority, you're going to make a certain amount of money per day, and it's always fixed. Which I think right now it's good money. It was anyway. I don't know about here in Pittsburgh, but I know when you drive charter bus or public transportation, I think you start off at $19 an hour or over $19 an hour starting off. I think they went to $21 starting off for Port Authority. Well, it's not called Port Authority anymore. It's Pittsburgh Regional Transit. So, but that's that. But with Uber, you never know, because you figure how much is $21 per hour. Well, if you do, okay, and you're making let's say you're making $21 an hour with Port Authority, okay, or Pittsburgh Regional Transit, and while you're making $21 an hour, you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's why I didn't hook up with, Port Authority or Pittsburgh Regional Transit, because, stuff like that. And then I'm diabetic, which means I have to pee like every 20 to 40 minutes, and if I eat something, I gotta pee more. It's like if I eat or drink something, I gotta pee like every 10, 20 minutes, so like when I was on Uber and Lyft, every time I went on like a trip that was probably about 20 minutes or more, I would stop and pee. Well, I should say go to the restroom. I would use the restroom and then go to the next trip. Okay, I would pause and you can do that. You can pause your what do you call that thing? Your app. You can pause the app, put the app on pause, or turn it off. Go take a break. And you can take any kind of break. You can take an hour break, a half an hour break. You can take a 5-hour break and then go back, because why? When you work for Uber and Lyft, you are working your own business and you're making your own schedule under somebody else's business or a corporate business, or however that goes. And so you can find, people are living, young people are living off of Uber and Lyft. I had this one guy tell me that he signed his son up to Uber and Lyft, and his son one day wanted to buy something from the store that cost $30 or something, and he said, I don't know if it was his phone bill or what it was, but he wanted to go buy something that cost $30, and the dude, his dad told him, well, look, why don't you turn on your app and get in the car and do a couple of rides? And he did. And within a couple of rides, he almost made $100. So he went straight to the phone company or wherever he went to, paid his bill. Okay? And so you can take that, you don't know what you're going to do within an hour, but within an hour, you're going to make more than $21 an hour, because you may, from where I'm at in Pittsburgh to the Pittsburgh airport, I could do one trip for $21 an hour. Okay? And then after I do the trip, it take you 40 minutes to go from here, 30 or 40 minutes to go from here to the Pittsburgh airport. I mean, if the traffic is good and there's no snow on the ground or something like that, you can be at the Pittsburgh airport in like 30 to 35 minutes from here. So, especially depending on which way you go. So, you can make $21 per trip. One way, $21. And what happened to me a lot of times when I would take people to the airport with all these people driving for Uber and Lyft, I would take somebody to the airport, and before I made it completely out of the airport, they asked me to turn around and go back to the airport and pick somebody up. Another $21. Or a lot of times it would start off at $17 because I was already there. So it would be like $17 because I was already there. So I turned around, went back and picked somebody up at the airport. Or somebody that was closer to the airport, like somebody in Robinson. I'm going to make less because Robinson is right by the airport. So, I may make $10 to take them to the airport. But I'm past that $21 an hour mark. And what I got like another half an hour to go. So I can do another 2 to 3 trips. And I've done it. I've never went out and did Uber and Lyft for 2 hours and didn't get at least $100. Okay? And the only reason why I only made $100 was because I left the city. I didn't want to do all my riding in the city. If I had to pulled over somewhere and waited or pulled over somewhere and or just rode around downtown Pittsburgh, I would have, and it's real easy at all hours of the day, even on weekends. Okay, and on the weekends you have the drinking party, you have the red light, people going out and stuff. And one time it was on a Friday. They had a football game up at McKeesport High School. They had a football game going on. I think it was a football game or some kind of athletic event. And I took about 8 kids within 3 trips. I took about 8 kids from the same part of McKeesport in the surrounding area to this game. Okay? Each time that I took them, I had more than one person in my back seat. Okay, it's like 8 kids total between 3 trips I took to this game. And as soon as I took somebody to the game, my phone rang for me to go to take somebody else, and they were letting me know which way to go. And I'm like, yeah, I got to go down here to such and such road and make a left. You're going to McKeesport High School, right? I says, yeah, after the first 2 trips, I know where you're going. Because I came up, there's a person right down the street from you that was going to the same game, So, and it was fun. And then on that same night, okay, somebody else wanted to go get picked up from the McKeesport High School and come back home. But there was another trip that was paying me more to go out to Oakdale, which is probably 10, 20 minutes outside of McKeesport, to go to Oakdale, which is a better area. It's not a ghetto. It's more like a uppity up, more of a, mixed neighborhood, kind of middle class, So I go out there, and they were paying me more. And I made more money to pick up this guy. And when I picked this guy up, he was drunk. And lucky his daughter was in the car with him. And we started off having a friendly conversation. And then it went to him talking to me like I'm an alien because he's drunk, And his daughter had to correct him and tell him to calm down and shut up. And then when I would tell him, I was like, well, I'm not sure what you're talking about, sir. He would get mad because I'm not sure what he's talking about. I didn't want to say, what are you trying to say? You trying to say because I'm black, this and that is going on? What you trying to say? I wasn't going to say that. And maybe he wanted me to put, my race, my color card in there or something, but I wouldn't do it. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about, sir, but no, I'm from where I'm at, okay? And I didn't grow up like that. I'm sorry, and I told him. And his daughter, she had to be barely 21. but they was out drinking together. Get a load of that. Or maybe he was lying. Maybe that's his young girlfriend. I don't know. But, she was like, Dad, you drunk. Like, you had too much to drink. That's why we're in an Uber, Just calm down. Let this man do the driving before you make this man wreck, Thank God she was with him. But there have been other times there was people in my car. It's like, if I listen to him or her, I'm going to wreck the car because they pissing me off. They making me mad. And, but as you do it enough, you learn to be calm and gentle. You also learn other ways to get somewhere other than, And if you say, I'm tired of going around in a circle, or I'm tired of going this long way, the app will redirect you in the direction that you're going. So even if you get lost, which I love that about this kind of business, the app will redirect you. It's not like that when you drive a regular cab. You got to know where you're going up front and the way you're going to go, and nobody's going to tell you how to go a different way unless they are a driver themselves and they go there all the time. They know how to get you there. Because once you get lost, okay, you're going to lose that money. Whereas the Uber Lyft, corporation is a little bit more, flexible with you on that. And there's times when I took so long to get somebody somewhere, I got a phone call from Uber or Lyft, and they were like, they wanted to know. I said, that's your fault. That's your fault that I went the long way. You took me to the wrong address. And she says, well, please tell me the address and give me the exact address where you took the person, And then there's all kinds of things. Y'all saw that lawsuit where that big heavy-set girl tried to, sue Lyft for the Lyft driver telling her that her big butt couldn't get in his car, and she tried to sue for it. I've had a dude just as big as her get in my car. I had to take him all the way to Ohio. Okay, so we was in the car for a good solid couple hours with his big butt in my car, And he was funky. He stank. Okay, but I got him there. Okay. And the beautiful thing is, when I got out there to where I was at, as soon as I got back into Pennsylvania, boom, there was a ride waiting for me. I picked this girl up, and, she said, it smells nice in here. And I says, yeah, I had a funky one back there. I'm glad that thank you, But anyway, that's two. Those are the two. So the first one is working for your regular employer. The second one is working your own business for somebody else's business. And that is what you're doing with Uber and Lyft, and that is what you're doing online. Okay? Okay. Now, the other business is to have your own business. That means that everything about the business is all coming out of your pocket. So the strategy is to make the business itself pay for itself. That's the strategy. The business itself pays for the employees. The business itself pays its own insurance. The business itself pays for everything. And then you get your cut after, and see what happens if you got people working for you, because you're going to have employees, unless you're going to go out there and, and I wouldn't do that. I could never do that. Like if I owned a store or whatever, I would have people working in the store for me. I would never, and that's why I don't get into that kind of business. To me, you might as well hold down a regular job. If you got to get up and go open the store, okay, work the register, clean up, and do all these different things, I might as well go work a job. Even though I'm making more money because it's my money, it's my business, still not that kind of business. Not that kind of business. But the reason why I mention Uber and Lyft is because online business kind of works the same. Online business, here's a physical example of online business. Let's say you were getting paid to make these here speakers here at home. And so the online people, you either buy your own, depending on how much you're getting paid online, you buy your own tools and parts to make this here speaker. Okay? Or you let them send you the parts. Okay? Or you just go online and talk about an item like this and do the specs of it online. Everything's online. You don't have to touch it at all, but and usually that's the way it is. Okay? And so online, there's everything from doing little stuff like this to where they actually send you parts and they send you items and you mail in and mail out. It's costing you that. There's things working online where you actually buy software for your computer and software for your internet, so that you can do certain things and make videos and do video calls and do different things and all like that. Now right now, in closing, I did a test, like I said, and even though I failed the test, they emailed me and said that you failed the test. And they said, but you can take the test again. I also received an email just last night about a lady right here on YouTube who was trying to get people to work for her company, and she's saying, young people that don't have no experience and all like that can make money, and she was telling you how to get on board and all like that. And it's just like right now, Uber and Lyft is advertising you to work for Uber and Lyft, and they are selecting so many drivers to where they are actually, if they're shorter drivers, then they'll do stuff like they'll let you rent a car per day instead of rent it per week, so they can get you out there driving because they have so many, and here's a note: if you owe Lyft or Uber money, you're going to be selected first for trips. The Uber Lyft person told me that. You get selected for trips. They make sure that you can easily make your payments if you buy a car from Uber and Lyft to do your business. And when I was in Amway, it was the same thing. I bought catalogs, I bought business cards, I bought my own supplies, some products that I could give away as samples to people. That all had to come out of my pocket. But the commission process was too slow, and that's why I opted out, because the commission process was too slow, and then they had the nerve to put pressure on me, because I hadn't sold anything and made any profit. And I'm thinking, I haven't made any profit because you want me to go to a certain level of making a profit for you before I get anything back from myself. And I'm thinking, I understand every product that I sell, my recruiter is going to make, either half of that or the majority of that, and I'm going to get, I'm going to get that penny bag, okay? And I would have been happy with my penny bag. Because I figure over time that penny bag is going to pile up. But they couldn't even give me a penny bag. I ain't getting nothing. Wait, you mean to tell me I can't get $6 out of a, let's see, you mean I can't get $6 out of a $20 item or a $30 item? I can't get $6 for myself? Somebody pays $72, I can't get, $10 or $20? You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, come on, man. So it was like, no, you have to reach this number. But wait a minute. Hold up, lady. I'm paying for everything. I'm buying the catalogs, my own business cards. I'm buying my own products, my own supplies, and my own insurance, my own licensing and all that. Do you know how much money I've invested into this company and have not made zero? And so that's why I opted out. Because after all that, they had the nerve. Because I guess my recruiter felt that I was putting some pressure on her. And so she said something to somebody, and I believe they started putting pressure on me. And when they seen that I didn't pay, $160 some to renew my license every end of the year, I waited past the month of December. They basically kind of said, "Oh, your licensing has been." How'd they put it? Rejected or something like that. I'm thinking, no, my licensing hasn't been rejected, sweetheart. My licensing expired because I'm not going to pay you any more money until I make some money. So there you go. But I'm getting into this online thing. I'm getting ready to go and pass the testing for one and respond to the email that I got last night. And I love when people encourage you to join them. They encourage you to do whatever you can, and they'll do whatever on there. And I also got a phone call from somebody about another job opportunity, and I'm telling the dude what my situation is, and he's like, telling me, asking me if I got a driver's license as if, he needs me to do some other things that the others ain't going to get to do or something. So I'm blessed of God. God is working things out here. But working online, you have to have patience with it, just like you have to have patience with Uber and Lyft. And I'm realizing that. When I did the tests, it was kind of difficult because they were asking me for something on the test, and they had me on a website that I don't go to them kind of websites. If I want to learn about travels, I'll go to a travel website. I don't go to a news site. They had me on a news site asking me questions about travel. Okay? Well, if someone told you that you can actually get a travel guide and a travel bonus and, bonuses or discounts, I should say, on trips by being on this news site, you should be telling me that as someone that's looking through this for you. But they didn't. They want me to find that out for myself. And I'm thinking, and one of the things I did was I thought that I was being timed to do this. I felt like I have to do this in a certain amount of time, and they didn't give me any time. And they didn't give me any time where I had to they didn't include timing on the test, so I could have took my sweet time, they didn't include any timing on the site, so I could have took my site to give them the information that they wanted me to give. So I was nervous and I was a little bit lost. But do you realize there's a whole culture of people out there? And yes, they're going to be young people, but there's old people, and I look at their YouTube every day, and they are running an online business. They are running, and they went from, if you're doing this for the first time, you're going to do a gig. And let me tell you something. You're going to do a gig, and then later on, you may want to work full time, and you may want to get some training, because from what I hear about from YouTube content creators that talk about this stuff, is that, if you want to make the big money, you'll work for the big corporations online. It doesn't matter whether it's YouTube or whether it's Amazon or whether it's whoever it is. And then a lot of people my age, what they're doing too, is they're also getting online and doing YouTube content. In a way, just by getting online and running their mouths and following videos around YouTube and doing whatever they need to get subscribers. And as you get subscribers, it doesn't matter if you get a lot of comments. I'm finding that out. It doesn't matter if you get comments on your channel. I have way more subscribers than I get comments. I only get comments when I do certain videos. But I got like 300 and some subscribers on one channel. Okay, 100 and some subscribers on another channel. And 98 subscribers on one channel, and maybe like 58 or something on the fourth one, or something like that. And, a lot of times I'm getting all these subscribers. Did I say 300 and some? I have 300 and someone. That's the highest number of subscribers I have on my main channel, 300 and some. It was up when I was being smeared. There was a smear campaign going against me. And this is one of the frustrating things about working YouTube. There was a couple of people, they got all together, they all knew each other. They got together because I'm a Christian, I'm a Trump supporter, and all this stuff. They got together, and I'm against anything that's non-Christian. And I will come right out and say, okay, I will talk about it. If you talk about it, if you can talk about it, I can talk about it. If a gay dude get on here talking about anal sex, I'm going to talk dirt on gay people. I'm sorry. You were crazy enough to get on here talking about cleaning your butthole out for anal sex. Okay? I'm going to talk about you. Okay? If you're crazy enough to throw that at a heterosexual Christian, I'm crazy enough to talk about you. Okay? If you're going to get on here and lie on Donald Trump when the whole world knows you're lying, but you're going to have all these subscribers, when they know you're lying, you're running a smear campaign, I'm going to talk about you. Okay? It's like that with everything. Okay? If you have a right to throw your beliefs and all that stuff against Christians and against people that are, anti-democratic or Republican or libertarian or whatever, okay, or don't vote at all, okay, or whatever, people have a right to talk about you too. Okay? Ain't nobody talking about gay people as bad as gay people talk about everybody else. And ain't nobody talking about trans people as bad as trans people talk about other people. Okay? Trans people are picking on Christians. They're infiltrating our churches as well as gay people infiltrating our churches and all like that. You don't need to be a Christian to be gay. Being a Christian is not going to make you a better gay person. It's not going to make you enjoy gay sex better. It's not going to make you more happier being a trans person because you want to become religious all of a sudden. That is separate, because when we become Christians, we sacrifice everything that is anti-God for the sake of the crown of life, as the Bible says, and enduring to the end. Don't mean to get religious on you, but I'm just saying, this is the frustration with working online, or, making YouTube content. Yeah, working online and making YouTube content. Just like I went to a site one time and a woman, I don't know how she found out I was a Christian, but she went to talk about how she don't like gifts from, she don't like Christians. What's that got to do with an art video? I'm watching you do art. And I complimented her art. I didn't say nothing about, God or atheism or anything when I just said, hey, that's really, 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 really nice. Another time, a woman got mad at me. I think it was a woman got mad at me because I said the word heaven. It looks like heaven. She's like, why does it gotta look like heaven? I said, you don't think it looks like heaven? What's heaven look like? I says, oh, well, I read the Bible. That's your problem. You read the Bible, But you go through that, online. And I'm closing right there because I want you to watch my videos. And I haven't put nothing on this channel for a while, and I want you to watch my videos. I want you to like, share, and subscribe because I am going to monetize within 2 channels in the very, very near future. I'm going to monetize within 2 channels. And I'm going to incorporate everything I have into 2 channels. I think, maybe 3. I have 4 channels. I might incorporate everything I have into 3 channels. But I'm going to monetize. I feel at my age and my situation. But just imagine being at home and doing something like repairing these and getting paid for it. Weekly or per product. Imagine every time you were to fix one of these or troubleshoot it and explain what's wrong with it or whatever, you got paid $75. And it didn't matter, and it don't take you a whole hour to fix one of these. It could take you a few minutes depending on what's wrong with it. This is a physical illustration of what it means to work online. And I grew up not being mechanically inclined. I remember back in the day when I first learned how to put brakes on my car, that particular car that I had, and I was putting brakes on it, we never paid anybody to put brakes on my car after that. I put the brakes on the car myself. But I thought it was such a hard thing to do until someone sat down with me and said, let me show you how to do it, man, because you paying me to put your brakes on, man. You got an old car. There ain't no reason why you should be paying somebody to put these brakes on your car. I'm letting you pay me cheap to put these brakes on, but you can save yourself even more money. Take you a few minutes to put these brakes on, brother. I said, okay. And he showed me how to take a simple screwdriver, one tool, the kind of car I had at the time, put them brakes on, okay, and take them back off. And there's wipe the oil off of it. It lets you know when you remove the tires exactly what brakes you need and the numbers and everything else, and so I had to learn. I learned, how to get a rag and a screwdriver and get rid of one big bill that was always showing up in my life. And you can do that online, okay? You can do that with Uber and Lyft. You can do that in anything that uses an app or uses an online database or uses YouTube or whatever. And in closing, I'm going to say this. I believe there's going to be a world coming where there's going to be more people working online. And let me tell you, people that are like me, where you didn't finish college. Let me tell you something. There's going to be a lot of college kids with their lazy behind selves going online and never ever getting their hands dirty. Okay, while grandpa is out there doing all the heavy lifting and loading the van and climbing poles and doing all kinds of stuff because he don't make enough money to really retire good. Okay, and Social Security is not enough. This young little I almost said the word I'm not going to call him that, but this young little lazy bum, okay, he's in here online, bing, butter, bing, butter, bing. You buy that boy a laptop or a phone, he'll never go to work. That's where we're headed. And I agree with the woman who was encouraging people over 50 to start a YouTube channel and monetize their channel, because these young people are in our seat. We're supposed to be the ones sitting here at home and getting and working in our pajamas, okay, and working without sweating and working without getting dirty. Okay, us old folks that are 50 and up, we're supposed to do that. But these young people that are 20 and up are getting online while we're out there doing all the sweating and working and coming in the house, you know, dragging our feet and got our hand on our back and, oh, what happened, Grandpa? Oh, I had a hard day at work, you know, and he bing, butter, bing, 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 dumb old man, why didn't he retire? Because I can't. I had to put you through college. How's it going to retire? You know. And that's why I'm just doing this video. Like, if you lose your job or if you're thinking about doing another career, think about what else you could be doing on your phone or on your computer before you do any more. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of people working online, and pretty soon there's going to be just as many people working online as there is working jobs. As a matter of fact, there's so many people working online that a lot of jobs out there, you wonder how they got openings all of a sudden. Well, that's because people are making more money online. And just like Uber and Lyft, there will always be room for people to do online skits. Why? Because everybody's working online, and you go from doing little gigs online to making your own, to having your own little network online, and then you get people working for you. Okay? And the engine just doesn't stop. It's an engine, and we just keep adding more cloud and making it expand. And so I'm thinking about my life, and you know, I'm not going to make a good retirement. And I just dropped another job recently. And I'm not going to, I got no 401k. I just lost that. I just lost the chance of making 401k. In retirement, I wasn't getting that. And the job offer that I was just offered last night that I'll be checking out tomorrow. Okay, there's no benefits in that. Well, there's medical benefits. Well, I got medical through I got government medical. I'd rather have that than to be having medical where I have to pay more. But I have medical. I'm probably going to lose it once I get a new job. But what I'm saying is, if you're in my shoes, if you got a business and you're happy with it, fine. If you have an online business, okay? If you're working Uber and Lyft, okay? But some of us don't really need to be leaving the house. Some of us don't need to be paying money to leave the house every day. Leaving the house, and every time you leave the house, that's gas. That's gas that you got to spend. You spend how much a week to go to work? How much bus fare do you need to leave the house every week? Okay? And some of y'all, I know I do it, catch 2 buses to get to where you got to go. You not only do you catch 2 buses, you walk a mile before you get to the bus stop. It's 58 years old. Okay, and people are calling me, hey, this job is out. I ain't catching no 2 buses over there. I'm not catching 3 buses over there. And I'm not going to catch 1 bus and then walk for an hour. Yeah, when I was a kid, I did that because I had to. My mom trained me to be you know, a young, hard, strong boy while I'm young, hard, and strong, okay? But I'm older now. My grandkids are grown. I'm not going to keep going out here getting these jobs where I have to compete with people that are young enough to be my grandkids. They're going to be my boss, and they're going to be HR. They're going to hire me and fire me. Tell me when I can have lunch. Tell me when I can have a vacation. But I can work for somebody that don't know me from Adam. The only resume that they might see is I could be a total criminal and work online. I can be a total a-hole and work online. I don't have to get dressed up and look good for my interview or anything. I can go straight to the computer. The only thing they care about is my PayPal, or my Cash App. The only thing they care about is the fact that I have a driver's license, okay, that shows my ID, who I am, just in case I rip them off or do something, or run a smear campaign against them or something, But they don't really even get to see my face other than my driver's license, and some of them don't even want that. They don't need to see your driver's license. All they need to see is your Google account. Okay, and they're powerful enough they can take your Google account and figure out the rest. Okay, it's so easy to do this, and this option is open. And and this is my last remark, before I sit there and say that it can't be done, the 2 emails I got have encouraged me. And there's a lot you can do online that does not cost you a penny out of your pocket unless you decide to take it a step further. Okay? It's kind of like working a job and you want to go from working security to working armed security. So now you got to go, because you're going to make more money for doing armed security. So you go and you not only learn armed security and pay for it, okay, but then you get qualified to work armed security. And you got to be licensed and all like that. It's going to cost you. And, the more you make, the less hard you have to work. But, you know what I'm saying? I mean, $75 an hour. Okay, $30 an hour. Okay? How many times a day am I going to eat? How many naps am I going to take in between using the internet? I say give it a shot. And once you get the hang of it, because, again, why should I be out there? Okay, when the young people are in here in here ain't putting up a sweat. I think they should be teaching young people in college how to go out and sweat a little bit and use their muscles and use their walking feet. Okay? And the stuff that they learned in college, that's for when they turn 40 and up. But between, a teenager and 40 years old, they need to be out there working. Us old folks need to be in here doing the easy jobs. And when I think about that, that tells me to give it a shot. Okay? And when I think about how you get treated as an employee, I want to give it a shot. Okay? So, there's my video. It was long, but if I don't get no comments on this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to break it down into pieces. A lot of stuff that I said about Uber and Lyft, I already said that on other videos, but I really wanted to talk about the online thing. It's hard for me to talk about this in a small video, but hopefully you enjoy this. Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. If you work online, tell me what you do and how it works out for you. and what you had to go through to work online. If you work online, okay, if you work online, if you have an online gig or an online job, some of y'all got gigs, some of y'all got jobs. I'm looking for a gig, and that is going to get me a job. It's going to translate later into a job. But some of y'all got gigs and some of y'all got jobs. Let me know if you work online. Okay? If you're working online, let me know how that's working for you and what you had to do to get to where you are. Let me know what it is that you do online and how that works out for you and what you had to do to get to where you are. Okay? Comment, like, share, and subscribe, please, in Jesus' name. Thank you.